Welcome back, guys. This is part 3 of our interactive video series. In the last episode we ruled out a few basic things like the battery. This time we've had a few good suggestions. Mark has suggested we scan it, which is probably where I would have started personally, apart from the battery. Like I say, that was a good suggestion. But yeah, let's scan it for codes and see what we find. So if you suggested, let's read the fault codes. No trouble codes. The owner has had the battery out and had it tested, so potentially there was a fault code there, but it might have disappeared with having the battery out. So as we can see, the scan didn't amount to much. As a bit of a bonus, we'll watch some live data while we're cranking and see if we can see anything interesting there. Alright, just got some live data up for you guys. Let's give it another crank. First thing that stood out to me is the injectors. We're commanding 40 milliseconds, which is huge. So it's just dumping a whole lot of fuel in there. Or wanting to, or trying to. So would you suggest checking fuel pressure next? Alrighty. Another viewer has suggested we check the fuel pressure. I think that's a pretty good idea considering what I've just seen on the scan tool with the injector trying to inject as much fuel as it can. So let's see what we find there. So unfortunately there actually isn't a port where I can hook my fuel pressure gauge up to just up here. Here's the fuel line just running there. I might be able to disconnect it there and just have a look. But what we've done, so without actually having a fuel pressure gauge in it, we're just going to make sure the fuel pump is running and it's got fuel in the tank. So nice easy actuation test on the scan tool. Just going to hit perform. Looks pretty good to me. Just filled that up in no time. I've just unplugged all the injectors. Foot flat to the floor. Let's try start it. So we can hear it's actually kicking over a little bit. So that would lead me to believe there is spark happening. What do you guys think? Why all of a sudden, now that I've unplugged the injectors, do you think it is actually firing a little bit? Just going to spray a external fuel source down into the throttle body. And here we go. Still no action with a bit of engine start down there. So I don't think we need to go any further with fuel. I can hear the cylinders getting pretty washed out. We're losing compression in the rings by washing away that oil film. Next suggestion comes from Richard, and he's saying we should check the ignition 10 amp fuse that feeds the coils. And related to this, Twisted Pits Barbecue has also suggested we check for spark and check the coils, so we'll go ahead and do that. And I have a pretty fair hunch that it does have spark, but we've got to test it, so let's do that. I've just got the coil harness unplugged and got a little test lamp in here. She's lighting up, so pretty confident the little 10 amp fuse Richard is talking about is pretty good. Well, let's just pull it out. It's this one here. And yeah. So, good test. Certainly wouldn't have spark if we had no power there, so thank you for that, Richard. Let's have a look at these coils. Let's just got the scope rolling. No, I don't. Now I do. Let's give it a crank. And we'll pause that. Go back to the screen and we can see we've got some action there, so pretty happy we've got spark and control. Next I suppose you want me to pull the spark plug out. Alright, so let's pull the spark plug out. Sorry, get it in the shot. Very wet. Looks like a spark plug to me though. So I don't think we need to go any further with spark, although it doesn't look like the plugs themselves are firing, being so wet with fuel. While I had those injectors unplugged, I could hear it kicking over, actually trying to run. Before I actually started shooting this, I did actually have the engine running just with the injectors unplugged, so I'm pretty confident we don't have a spark issue. Let's carry on. So we're just going to head back to the scan tool now. There's something important in there that only a trained eye would see, and someone who doesn't look at this stuff all the time would quite easily miss. So let's check it out. And the other thing I've noticed, let's just key on again. If we look down here at the map sensor, just give it another crank. Yeah, it's holding quite steady, so should we be testing the map sensor? Do we believe the map sensor? So a pretty interesting case looking at that map sensor reading. Personally, doesn't seem like the engine's pulling any vacuum or any air into the cylinders, even though we can see the mass airflow reading is showing something pretty normal. So I think we're going to wrap up part 3 here. Quick recap is we know we've got a good battery, we know the camshafts are spinning, we know that our camshaft sensors and crankshaft sensors are all okay. Today we've checked spark and fuel and had a look at some codes and live data. So we're getting a pretty good picture of what's going on inside this motor. There's not many things left to test now, so I'll see you on the next episode and keep the comments coming in.